Yo, what is going on, people? Welcome to another installment of Tony's Take. All right, I know it's been a hot minute since I done one of these, right? But been very busy with work. I had, had to write a bunch of stuff. But, we've covered most of the big gaming things over on Throwdown, so we haven't really exactly left you guys in the dust. But yeah, me personally, I've been able to do one of these. But now that things are dying down, I'm going to try to get them to you more regularly. And I guess, the return of Tony's Takes is going to be kind of hot because we got to talk about this shit. All right, so backing it up a little bit, right? Yesterday on Throwdown, right, we talked about how PlayerUnknown, the guy who made PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, he tweeted out that the game, right, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds would be running at 60 frames a second on the Xbox One X, right? Man, that caused a little bit of a firestorm, right? On a couple levels, right? The main one, and this is the one we kind of focus on Throwdown, is like, okay, so if the game runs at 60 frames a second on the Xbox One X and it runs at 30 frames a second on the regular Xbox, right? Kind of unfair, you know what I'm saying? And then, of course, the big deal is, and, we'll get to that, Microsoft already specifically said, hey, when it comes to multiplayer, right, the multiplayer aspect of games, and PUBG is a complete multiplayer game, there would be parity because they want to keep things fair, right? So basically this led to some dudes, I'm not going to name names, but you know who I'm talking about, strutting around like peacocks. Yeah, we could do 60 frames a second. And to make things crazier, you had Xbox One X guys calling Xbox One S dudes and regular Xbox owners peasants, the same way the PC guys call console gamers peasants. It was crazy. It's like the Xbox community was just fighting with each other over this shit, right? So we did the story, whatever. I wake up this morning, right? And I wake up to this. This is interesting, right? So PlayerUnknown, he goes on Twitter, and I'm going to just, read what he says here. While I previously stated PUBG would run at higher FPS at XGP launch on 12/12, the game does come out a couple weeks from now. I want to clarify that PUBG will run at 30 frames a second across all Xbox One X devices. We're constantly refining the game and exploring options to increase FPS, but this early in development, we're unable to confirm more, right? And, again, this is coming off of what he said yesterday. He was very emphatic about it, too. Like, yeah, we could run 60 frames a second on the Scorpio, bruh. But again, it's like, that's not fair to the guys who could only run the game at 30, right? So, let's go back to what Microsoft said, because when I was on Twitter yesterday and I was like, didn't they already say there would be parity? People were like, who's they? Trying to say that Microsoft didn't say nothing, right? So it's from Game Informer from last year, June 14th, right after E3. As a matter of fact, look at the tag right here, E3 2016. I'm pointing at the tag. It's like I disabled the mouse. Anyway, the headline right here, Microsoft, there wouldn't be frame rate differences between Xbox One X and Scorpio, right? Scorpio being the former name of Xbox One X, right? So, so this was an interview with Shannon Loftus, and I'm trying to find the specific quote here, but she's talking about frame rates. So I'm gonna have this link down below so you can check out the whole thing yourself, right? So here's the juicy part. No, there wouldn't be a frame rate difference between. No, there wouldn't be a frame rate difference because typically the frame rate is determined by the game developer and what's right for the gameplay mechanic. You don't necessarily want to create two different mechanics for two different configurations, which is true. Think about it like this, right? You guys already know this, man. Like if you are playing at a higher frame rate, the game runs faster for you, right? You have an advantage, right? The dudes running the game at 30 are going to be at a disadvantage. So the guys on Xbox One X playing against the Xbox One S guys would slaughter them every time, man. It would be very difficult for the guys on the regular Xbox to get a leg up because they're being handicapped. Let's just be honest here, So it makes sense why they want to keep the games, the same, right? Here's another quote. We asked about what happens when Xbox One games are only capable of sub 60 frames performance and whether Scorpio would be pinned down to lower spec in that regard. So this is what Shannon Loftus says. Typically, yes. A good example is Killer Instinct, which is cross-play on Xbox and PC. we have locked the frame rate to 60 frames per second. We could do we could do better on super high-end PCs, but that ruins the competitive nature of it. There you go. That's it right there. You know, they don't want to mess it up for everybody. You know, if you want to foster a good, like, competitive environment, everybody has to be equal, right? So you can't have dudes with higher frames a second versus dudes with lower frames a second. Now, I do want to talk about the whole PC component because some people, I'm going to shout out to my man Tor Davis here. He's like, yo, but this is a lot on PC. Why can't you have that on console? What he's talking about is that basically PC guys, like, for example, I have a GTX 1080, right? My shit could run at 60 frames or higher, right? And if I'm playing against somebody with a lower frame rate, I'm going to have the advantage. But there's no regulation, right? Because here's the thing about PC. There's no ecosystem, really, for PC. It's every man for himself, the Wild West, the frontier, you know, the untamed frontier, basically, right? Every man for himself. There's no ecosystem. There's no regulation, right? On the console side, there is, you know, because it's one ecosystem, right? Microsoft easily can regulate this stuff. They don't want people on their ecosystem, you know, one side of, you know, of their player base having an advantage over the other. They want everybody to be on the same level playing field. They could do that on console, right? Can't do it on PC because there is no, you know, regulatory body or whatever. You know, there's no dedicated ecosystem on PC. That's why that's allowed there, right? So, yeah, and also going back to the original tweet here, obviously, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but I am almost certain that Microsoft saw the original tweet. It's like, you know, kill that shit, bro. Kill that shit. No. Because again, if the game were to be coming out at 60 frames per second, it would be contradictory to this. It would be contradictory to that. So you can't do that, you know. Although on the show last night, we indicated that this was a sign that if a game can run better on Scorpio, it will run better. But, you know, as I pointed out, I was like, yeah, but they're lying then. They're not only lying, they're being hypocritical. But right here, Microsoft is maintaining their word to fans. They're not betraying the fans here. Everybody plays on the same level playing ground, right? So that's pretty much it. I know some guys are upset. Look at my man, his move. He ain't happy. I know Crab Gamer ain't going to be happy. By the way, I just said I'm not going to name names. I name names, you know, because he was all there. You know, Crab Gamer made a video about, oh, we're running at 60 frames, you know, strutting around like peacocks and stuff. But no, man. And here's the thing. It's not that the Scorpio can't do 60 frames. That obviously could. Look at PUBG. PUBG looks like a PS2 game, right? Very low quality type of game, right? Like visually and shit. I know people have fun with it and stuff, and that's great. But I'm talking about just from a visual aspect, very substandard type game, right? Scorpio could easily run that shit at 60. I bet you it could even run it higher than 60, right? But at the same time, you don't want to do that because it would alienate, like, I wouldn't even say half your player base, like maybe 90% of your player base, because not a lot of dudes have Scorpios compared to Xbox Ones. You know what I'm saying? So you can't have like a small segment of the community having a clear advantage over the vast majority, right? It is not good business, man. So I fully understand why this was done. So that's going to do it for this video. By the way, fun little fact for you guys. This is the second take of this video because when I recorded the first take, which was a great take, the audio was all fucked up. Can't be having that, you know? So yeah, I'm going to try to do these Tony's takes for you more regularly now that the year's winding down. It's kind of paradoxical. It's like I'm going to have time to actually do more of these, but I may not have enough juice to pull from because it's the end of the year. Not a lot of news is going on, but I'm gonna try. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, that's pretty much it, man. So I want to hear what you guys have to say about all this in the comment section. If you like this video, make sure to, you know, thumbs up it. If you didn't like it, hit thumbs down. Either way, it helps the channel out. You know what I'm saying? All right, man. I want to wish you all, you know, happy, you know, holidays, all that other shit, and have a good weekend, all that other stuff, man. I'll see you next time, man. Later.